Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today on Living Mythology, I present to you a new conversation hosted by Paul Del Roberts, and it is called the People's Comic Book Podcast. It is a legacy show based on a multi-issue magazine that he himself helmed many years ago in the days of yore when he was a superhero himself. So greetings and welcome, Paul.
Hey, thank you, Hercules. And we got a great show tonight. We got some cool people. We got Donnie Cho, Michael Koff. They're both podcasters, and they're a wealth of information. So I can't wait to pick their brains.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to we'll just talk about who we are, and then we'll get into the comic books, comic book movies, and comic book TV shows. So anyway, who I am? Okay, I'm Paul Dale Roberts. I had a newsletter called the People's Comic Book Newsletter, and I was promoting people who are trying to get into the comic book industry as artists and writers. So all those newsletters, and I think there was like 150 of them, they're at Bowling Green University Special Collections, and they're at the Library of Congress Register of Copyrights. So all those newsletters and all the people that were worked on it and everything else, they're immortalized. They're out there. And also, too, they were all scanned. So I have made sure they're all scanned. I only published one comic book in my whole life, and that was the legendary Dark Silhouette. I used to do comic book reviews and interviews. I even interviewed William Shatner when he had a comic book series called the Tech Series. I'm a notorious letter hack, and if you go into Wikipedia and type in letter hack, you'll see my name. I'm up there right with George R. Martin, who did Fire and Ice and Game of Thrones. He was a letter hack. Um, Real life superheroes. If you do Wikipedia on that, you'll see that I'm the Demon Warrior, and my mask is right back there. Um, in 2006, I stopped reading comic books, but I still love watching comic book movies and TV shows. Um, I'm a paranormal investigator and I'm a podcaster. So now I'm going to pass the baton over to Michael Koff. Michael Koff, tell us about yourself.
Wow, that's a hard intro to follow up, Paul.
Yeah, come on, it's not that hard.
So, as he mentioned, I'm Michael Koff. I am a paranormal and esoteric disclosure podcaster, and I grew up with comics and watching like Batman, the DC, Marvel. I'm a huge fan of the Marvel movies, and I also like to delve into the mythologies of some of the characters, like the Asgardians, and seeing how that relates, how closely to the Norse mythologies. And so that is a lot of fun for me. And with my history background, I kind of like to look at the comics, and I'm one of those rare ones probably that's I read the Star Trek Next Generation comics, I'll admit that, and huge fan of the CW shows. And let's see, I've been podcasting for 3 years and so excited to be here and to be a part of this.
Well, thank you, Michael. It sounds very interesting. It seems like you have some good information out there about comics and comic book movies and stuff. So I'll be interested to hear about it. Our next one is Donnie Cho. Tell us who you are.
Hey, everybody. I'm just still getting used to this whole switching back and forth thing. But yeah, my name is Donnie. Donnie Cho. I'm based out of Maryland, a little bit outside of Baltimore, and I've been a podcaster for about 2 years now. My channel is called Donnie Cho Says Stuff. Um, I was originally involved in the paranormal and the cold cryptid scene, and my channel, Donnie Cho Says Stuff, is actually like a parody comedy channel. Um, Yeah, it's mostly for laughs, and I think one of my inspirations for making the show the way it is actually partly to do with comic books because I was or have been a comic book fan my entire life. Grew up on Marvel and DC, and one of the main points that I made about my show or for the show is that the fandom for the paranormal and cryptids it's very similar to hardcore comic book fans or just any other fandom. And a lot of my show is spending time trying to highlight that fact. Yeah, but like I said, big comic book fan most of my life. I'm one of the few Asian guys who's not into anime. So people ask me all these anime questions, and I really am familiar with that, although it is hugely popular nowadays amongst Gen Z. So yeah, I'm here to talk about some comic books and comic book movies, and yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Well, thank you very much, Donnie. I guess I'll start it off. When I watched the movie The Fantastic Four First Steps, I was really disappointed on the female version of Silver Surfer, Shala Ball.
Mhm.
I wish they just kind of kept it. I'm so used to the male version of Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
It just kind of threw me off. And I didn't really like Fantastic Four that much. Um, the actor who plays Mr. Fantastic, what's his name? I can't think of his name right.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that guy. So I don't know. And I heard there's a lot of behind the scenes problems
Mhm.
with Fantastic Four. So I don't know what they're going to do if they do another movie on Fantastic Four because they said Pascal is causing a lot of problems. So I
Right.
don't know. Yeah. Um, I watch well I watched the last episode of Sci-Fi's Resident Alien and Sci-Fi's Revival, and I had no idea that these TV shows were once comic books by Dark Horse Comics. I had no
Mm.
idea, and Revival's pretty good. Resident Alien, it was good in the beginning, then it just kind of turned to crap at the end. Um, to me, that's what I think.
Mm.
The Boys, I love The Boys. Homelander, I mean, when he's pissed off, I'll laser all of you. I mean, Homelander is a badass.
Yeah.
That's that's the guy. You know, he's showing you how Superman would be if he turned rogue. So that's kind of interesting. Um, Superman, the new movie, I loved it. I loved it a lot. I love Mr. Terrific. I love those gadgets, those T spears. And it reminds me of the horror movie Phantasm, where he has Sentinel spears. And both of them, the tall man and Mr. Terrific, they control their spears.
Mhm.
And the T spears are used for combat, surveillance, flight, and hologram generation, and is controlled by mental and vocal commands. So it's it was very unique how Mr. Terrific uses those spears, and he's a very cool superhero. I really appreciate him. So, what do you guys think about the latest Superman movie?
I actually saw it a couple nights ago, and honestly, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it. There were a few things that I didn't like about. A couple things I did like about the movie, but some things I didn't like. I it felt too much to me like I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. Like a lot of the dialogue that Clark or Superman had in that movie, it felt so much like Chris Pratt's Star Lord. there were so many elements from that movie that it was just it felt like I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy again. Even Mr. Terrific's T-spheres, I felt like were reminiscent of that. Remember in Guardians of the Galaxy where Yondu had that wand that would go zipping around and
Right.
just
Yeah.
taking out all the
Whistle.
bad guys. The T-sphere scene, while it was cool and very well shot and very well done, like James Gunn can do action scenes very well. It reminded me too much of Yondu, honestly. Clark Kent reminded me too much of Star-Lord. It was just the Justice Gang. It was just James Gunn putting in a team so he could have all of that witty banter that he does well. You know, because what James Gunn's strength is he does like amusing dialogue, right?
Right.
Again, the action I thought was good. There were elements of Lex Luthor that I liked. I thought there was some really interesting choices that he made especially with the way, typically in comic book movies and stories, when you have the arch villain and you have his henchmen, right? Typically, the way that dynamic works is that the villain kind of rules over them through fear. Whereas in this movie, like all of Lex Luthor's henchmen, they were loyal to him because they actually loved him, and he loved them back. You know, to them, he was the good guy. So I thought that was a very interesting dynamic that I feel like doesn't get explored enough with comic book supervillains. So yeah, there were things I liked, but overall, I mean, the whole time I was like, man, I miss Henry Cavill. I miss that version. Yeah.
And Henry Cavill was Wolverine for just a brief moment.
Yeah, for a brief minute.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Like Guy Gardner versus Superman, who would win?
Well, Superman.
Okay. And Guy Gardner, I mean, he doesn't take no BS. I mean, he was confronting Superman. He goes,
Yeah.
"Let's go, Big Blue."
Yeah.
Way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
And I love me some Nathan Fillion, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'll have to be honest. I watched the previews for the Superman movie, and I'm one of those type fans of if the preview doesn't grab me, I probably won't go see it. And all the scenes where I was seeing Superman in the new movie in the previews, I felt like these are just campy scenes and just doesn't really, it did not grab me at all.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I actually sat back and was like, man, I've seen almost every single Superman movie out there. And I'm like, I don't feel like I want to see this one because I don't feel like it does justice to the other movies. And they made it look like, I mean, he's young, like almost like teenager age looking in
Yeah.
the previews. And I was like, no offense, but watching Tom in Smallville seemed more entertaining than this movie from the previews. And so I actually have yet to see the movie, and I'm kind of torn and like going, do I see it or will I be disappointed and wish I hadn't seen it?
I don't think it was terrible. It wasn't like one of those movies that was like so bad that you like feel actually depressed afterwards. There were a few movies like that, like Thor: Love and Thunder. After I watched that movie, I was actually like bummed out the rest of the day. I was like, oh man, they had Christian Bale in there and Taika Waititi directed it again. And that movie was just hot garbage. Right. So it wasn't like that. So like the new Superman, I feel like was very watchable. Like it did have some fun moments. James Gunn, for the most part, can deliver entertainment. I just feel like he was just the wrong guy for it. They should have he was not the right choice as the person who should be making the new Superman. You know what I mean? It's just his style. It just clashes too much with the source material.
I agree. And one thing I'll mention, like Paul, you were talking about the Fantastic Four. I feel like the problem with the movies is every time they come out with a team, there's different people playing the characters. So we are constantly going, oh, we're having Fantastic Four, whole new cast, whole new
Again,
origin, whole
again,
new
yeah.
cat. And it's like, I almost want to sit there and go, if we were to like take Fantastic Four for an example of the movies that are out there, picking the characters, which characters would you put together to make the ultimate Fantastic
Hmm.
Four movie that would work?
Yeah, I have like a dissimilar opinion.
Okay.
I like all superhero movies, no matter how horrible they are. Sometimes they're so horrible that they become classic.
Hmm.
I actually liked Thor: Love and Thunder. I didn't like the way they treated the Greek gods, but I liked the movie overall. And I love the Eternals, a movie most people hated.
Oh, I love the Eternals.
I actually kind of like the Eternals. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it got way more hate than it did.
Yeah, and so I don't go into them expecting it to be a masterpiece.
Hmm.
I approach them the same way I do comics. Like all of you, I'm no longer an avid comic reader, although I do follow an occasional Conan, an occasional Hercules, an occasional other like barbarian or strong person
Hmm.
comic book. For a while, I went on a Power Girl binge not too long ago and just followed as much of those till I got tired of reading it, and then I stopped reading it. And I agree that the continuity does become a problem, especially if they have different people playing the roles. And I'm concerned about some of what I'm hearing about the multiverse saga. But now that you could watch something on streaming and watch something on DVD pretty quickly or Blu-ray, I no longer feel compelled to go see these things in the movie theater. My wife
Right.
who also likes superheroes. We used to whenever a superhero movie came out, we'd go on a date. We'd go watch the movie, and then we go out and eat at our favorite Mexican restaurant. So we made it an occasion. Then COVID killed movie night, and then now the fact that you could watch everything on your home computer kind of spoiled the rest of date night. So we still do that.
Right.
I didn't feel compelled enough to go see Superman or the Fantastic Four in the theaters, but I'm sure I'll watch them as soon as I get the opportunity to watch them on TV. And I'll probably wait till you no longer have to pay for Superman or the Fantastic Four to watch them.
I
Yeah, that
actually
makes
have to
sense.
agree with you, Hercules, is I have now come to where I kind of wait for some of them to come to the free TV, or
Mhm.
like a special where you get a
Hmm.
discounted price because you can watch it from home in the comfort, and you can pause it, walk away, come back if you're like going, I need a break because this movie is just so not doing it for me right now, and walk away, come back and be like, oh, okay, now I'm ready for this. Wait, hold on. Yeah, now you got me.
And you don't have to wait for months or a year anymore. It comes out in a few months. It's right there. So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
I remember the days of VHS where we had to wait a phenomenal amount of time. So it was worth going to the theater to watch it just so you watched it when it came out. But now
Yeah.
it
I remember
comes
those
out so
days.
quickly that why even go through the bother of driving to the theater? And most of the theaters that were in my area in Bergen County, New Jersey, closed during the pandemic. So
Hmm.
now there's very few of them unless you go to a mall and go to one of the mall theaters. So that killed, like, let's go to the friendly neighborhood theater and watch a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Peacemaker is hilarious. That
Yes.
vigilante, yeah, I mean, he's something else. I mean,
See,
that
that's James Gunn doing it right. I think that that character was made for James Gunn, and I agree. I love Peacemaker. I love James Gunn's directing in that. I think that's where his talent shines. You know, he does really good ensemble pieces.
Yes.
Did you guys remember that one scene in Peacemaker? And Vigilante wants to kill these the nurses, and um, then they were talking about using duct tape and taping them up, and he says, "Don't do that because that'll hurt them." And the one guy, the big fat guy, I forget what his name is, and he looks at me and goes, "So you don't mind killing them,
Oh
but
yeah, I remember
you have
that.
the issue of putting duct tape on them because it'll hurt their skin." And then Vigilante has to think about it and goes, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
hey, Paul, did you know the second season just came out last night?
What, Peacemaker?
Yeah,
Yes.
it just
Yes,
premiered yesterday.
I
Yeah, I
know.
just saw it last night.
Oh my god, was it
Creatures
good?
Commandos, which was an animated series that fits
Saw
in
that too. Yeah,
the same character as well. The same character in charge of the Creature Commandos and now the Peacemaker people.
yeah.
Did you know Peacemaker was originally in Charlton Comics?
No.
Yeah,
Really?
way back
Hmm.
when Charleston Comics had their superheroes, and DC went and purchased all their superheroes, including Peacemaker.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, and then
So,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead, Paul.
No, Michael, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask a point because DC movies seem to be not as popular as the Marvels lately with the new, like they're struggling getting their stories going and putting them out there. And I wonder, is it because Marvel Studios came out with doing like stage one, stage two, stage three releasing, but they had the continuity. Like Captain America is Captain America throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Black Widow is Black Widow throughout the entire series, and you don't have these change ups. And so, do you think people are liking Marvel more for that, or do you think Marvel just has better writers?
That's a good question. I think DC is trying to make that continuity now, at least. And they tried to do it with the DCEU as well.
They tried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they're trying now the same cartoons in animation and in games. They're trying to keep
right.
characters consistent in all the different platforms that the characters are appearing.
I don't know if I want to say the Marvel, the MCU has been better or worse than DC because there have been some real gems with the DC universe, not the extended universe, but there have been some DC movies that have like okay, Dark, The Dark Knight, right? Probably one of the finest comic book movies, arguably most critically acclaimed comic book movies, right, in our modern times. I thought I thought the Robert Pattinson the Batman was excellent. Like DC can make good movies, right? I liked the first Wonder Woman movie. I think it's what it was I think they dropped the ball with Justice League. I think there was too much studio drama. Zack Snyder didn't get to release his version of it. You know, Joss Whedon took over. If they dropped the ball with Batman v Superman, if those movies had taken off, I think we would have seen a DC extended universe. But I just think it was just the way it worked out.
DC's expanding their universe too, bringing in more characters, which
Right.
yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people follow Marvel because they bring in so many characters. It's like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't like about Marvel is they kill off or get rid of their superheroes too quick. I mean, like Iron Man. I mean, God, they killed him off just like that. It's like, and now they're talking about there's some kind of connection with Iron Man to Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's going on with
They
that?
waited 20
Robert
years to
Downey
kill off
Jr. is.
Iron Man, though. They
Hmm.
didn't really kill him like right away. They killed him after a couple of decades, and
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
the actors are getting older. That's part of the problem.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need younger actors to play the superheroes because
Right.
the superheroes have wandered into our age bracket and beyond.
And I'm not sure I'm gonna follow. We've seen Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man through 3 movies, the Avengers series. I mean, and now to say he's Doctor Doom, it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
how is this possible? And to me, that kind of, I think, is like almost like a slap in the face to the viewers, because it's like, we know this person is this, and now you're gonna show me him as this in the same genre. It's like, no, and not explain it. It's like, what?
And DC and Marvel are both using that one word, variant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everything's a freaking variant. Well, even like Hercules has a bunch of variants. I mean,
Yeah, we talked about that on the. Well, I like a lot of people didn't like Captain America 4 Brave New World, but I liked how they took one of the earlier movies with the Hulk,
Hmm.
plot lines that were dangling since then, and like tied them up in a bow, and at least let you know what was happening with all those people and how they affected each other over the decades. And I liked in Love and Thunder where they introduced Hercules, but I doubt that they're going to follow through with him now, and that makes me sad. Because they were supposed to do a television show with Hercules, then they nixed that. Then they
Mm.
bring him back in a new Thor movie, and now that's uncertain. So there's so many dangling threads that they've left in all the movies that I was glad when they finally tied up some of them with Captain America 4.
Did you like that movie? Because I was thinking about checking that one out.
It wasn't their best movie, but if you like the Hulk movies, if you like
Hmm.
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and if you followed the character of Ross in his many appearances, it
Hmm.
took everything that happened before and it closed it. It showed you what happened with everybody, and it gave a satisfactory conclusion to it. So got rid of some dangling threads in all the previous movies. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. Uh,
Mm.
was it a masterpiece? No, I didn't think so. But it was a fun movie to watch, and it again closed the chapter in some dangling plot threads. So I enjoyed it.
And Hercules talking about like them tying up loose ends and everything. Marvel was the first one to have the after credits
Yes,
snippets for the next movies or something. And I remember seeing Howard the Duck, and I have been constantly waiting to see what they're gonna do with that. And if that was just like a, hey, go back and watch this movie because, here he is, or, are they gonna bring him back?
I think they intended to bring back all the characters that they introduced in
Yeah.
those things, but again, they got such bad flack with the multiverse saga, and they cut back dramatically on the number of movies and the number of television shows that they're releasing. So a lot of things that, like they introduced Pip the Troll and
I remember that.
yeah, and Eros, and I was looking forward to that because that might lead to the Infinity Watch series that made sense, and they brought back Adam Warlock, but I doubt if they're going to go in that direction anytime soon.
and didn't they bring back Blade?
They're trying to.
They're
Yes.
They're
trying.
trying. Yeah, they're trying.
Although I have to admit, Wesley Snipes, I cannot see anyone doing it better. He just had the attitude and charisma that so signifies Blade.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
Um, has anybody here been watching Sandman? That's part.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because that's part of the DC universe.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like I don't know how to explain it, but you have the DC universe with Batman, Superman, but then there's like a darker DC universe with Swamp Thing and
Vertigo
Constantine.
Comics.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Constantine, I feel like as good as Keanu Reeves is, I feel like that movie just didn't fully work. I mean, it was a great, like, showing him that way, but when the CW Legends came out
Hmm.
and that Constantine showed up, I was like, I was falling more in love with that Constantine
Yeah.
Yeah,
than
that
the
was
movie.
more comic accurate.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was perfect as far as I was concerned too, as Constantine.
yeah. And that's another one they're bringing back.
And also, too, in Sandman, Constantine's ancestor, I can't think of her first name, but she's related to John Constantine.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had two of his ancestors, if I remember correctly, on Sandman.
Yeah. So, Hercules, you've been watching it?
Oh, I love Sandman. It's Greek mythology. That's my number one passion. And they had the Orpheus, they had the three fates, they had all,
Mm.
and even Morpheus. He comes from Greek mythology. Morpheus means semblance in Greek, and although Hypnos was the dream lord in Greek mythology, Morpheus or semblance was one of his like lieutenants. So they changed
Mm.
the mythology around a little bit, but I feel that the graphic novels and the series were excellent, and I have them both. I don't have season two of Sandman yet, but I have all the graphic novels. I have all the spin-offs they did, like the Dreaming and Bast, and they did a lot of Dead Boy Detectives. I have all of those somewhere in a box, and I have the first season of on Blu-ray.
So let me ask you this question then. What was your personal favorite on-screen portrayal of Hercules?
I like the old Sword and Sandal cinema movies.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, the Hercules movies, as they used to call them, or the Peplum films.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite Hercules was Reg Park and
Hmm.
Albert Steele and Steve Reeves. Those are my three favorites. I think
Oh, so the old school
the
ones.
old school ones. That's
Yeah.
when I was a kid. That's what was playing in the theaters and on.
I remember watching one of those. It was Hercules versus Samson.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
those were a lot of fun. I still have shows going on about it. Before I had a problem with Facebook and they knocked me
Yeah.
off for a while, so we closed my groups. But my Sword and Sandal Cinema groups had over 30,000 people worldwide in them, so there's still a big a fan base for Sword and Sandal Cinema for those type of movies.
There's so many people who haven't even seen him yet, like so many younger
Yeah.
people who should. Yeah, you must have really loved the original Clash of the Titans, I bet.
Yes, I love
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved that movie as a kid.
Wait a minute. So, you're telling me that Greek mythology crossovers with Christianity, Samson versus Hercules?
Yep, they had that
And,
movie.
I didn't know that.
You got to
and
check it out, Paul. I think you might love it.
And in archaeology, they don't know the difference between Samson and Hercules in the ancient Near East because there's a depiction of a strong man fighting a lion.
Hmm.
That could be Hercules fighting the Nemean lion or Samson fighting the lion that when he came back, it was full of bees and honey and he made a riddle out of it.
Hmm.
And archaeologists and other people who explore ancient mysteries don't know if that's a depiction of Samson or Hercules in antiquity. So the legends were all tightly tied together. Like Herodotus tells us that Melkart, the strongman god of Tyre, was Hercules to some people. So
Hmm.
the Sword and Sandal movies did the same thing. A hero that was Hercules in some movies was Ursus or Machiste in other movies. So the name changed depending on the audience, but it was the same movie and the same hero, just with a different name.
Hmm.
I enjoyed the old movies. I haven't really found a new Hercules movie that I kind of can really get behind.
Hmm.
But I do have to say, Kevin Sorbo's Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, he did a good job, I think, portraying him in that he had the strength, but he still had his humanity, and he would question using his strength, and he would make mistakes, and then he
Hmm.
would work to fix it. And he had this comic friend, and it just every week, even when they went to Ireland, it was like you really believed you were watching Hercules because he looked and acted so much like we would. And they even did an episode where they were like, Kevin Sorbo's not there, and all the actors were portraying like the studio and trying to figure
Yes.
out. And that one episode confused me because I was like, this is not taking place there. But I thought it was a good way of making fun of the studios.
Yeah, I have 2 feet from where I'm sitting right now. I have a 3-shelf bookshelf full of just Hercules: The Legendary Journeys and Xena movies, magazines, books, comic books, and stuff like that. A lot of people don't like Kevin Sorbo's politics, but he did a great job, I feel, too, with his Hercules: Legendary Journeys, and I have all of them, and I watch them like once every couple of years. I'll watch from the first 5 movies that they made through all the
Oh,
shows.
you got the box set.
Yeah, I got the box,
Oh, nice. Nice.
and they did Young Hercules, they did Xena,
Yeah, with Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling.
Yeah.
and they did a cartoon too with Xena and Hercules, and they did all sorts of stuff. They had comic book series up the wazoo. They got like a lot. I have a whole shelf of some of the comic books, and they really really built up that universe.
Oh, I gotta ask now. What did you think of the 1970s Lou Ferrigno Hercules?
I think it was funny.
I don't know. It's early 80s or late 70s, right?
Hercules
It
fighting
was.
robots and
Yeah. Hercules in space.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was funny, and I have a group on Facebook that I made called the Space Opera Hercules, the Space Operas, and I just listed a couple of promos from the Hercules in space movies. Uh, I didn't like it in terms of being like a classic, memorable movie,
Hmm.
but it was fun to watch them have Hercules fight giant robots and bears and things like that.
So now that we're talking, now that we're meshing in comic book characters and mythology, I just want to ask, like, you guys, who would you say are your favorite comic book characters in terms of their mythology?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I like Conan the Barbarian because Conan is human.
Hmm.
Right now, he's being labeled as toxic masculinity, and that's why we haven't seen any Conan stuff in new Conan stuff in a while on the
Yeah.
comic books. But Conan was not a demigod. He was not a god. He was not
Hmm.
chosen by gods. He wasn't bitten by radioactive spiders or anything. He was a regular human being with his own strength, and yet he confronted everything that life threw at him. So he's one of my favorite characters for that reason, that there was nothing special about him in terms of being enhanced. But as a regular man, he cultivated himself, and whatever his age, which was a violent and dangerous age, threw at him,
Yeah.
he stood up and he met it, head on.
Hercules, you probably like King Cole, and you probably like Red Sonja.
Yeah, King Cole,
Yeah.
yeah, I love all those.
You know, my fascinating, the thing that I find the most fascinating about the whole Conan saga is that when Robert E. Howard, when the way he wrote it, he made the setting the Hyborian Age, which
Yes.
he intentionally set as, for people who are into like esoteric knowledge or whatever, right?
Mhm.
It was, what's the quote in the original movie? From the days after the oceans drank Atlantis before the rise of the sons of Arias.
There
So
was
it's when Atlantis sinks, presumably the Younger Dryas event, like 12,000 years ago, up until like Sumeria, the first like historically recognized civilization in that time period in between, that big dark age that nobody knows what happened during that time,
Mhm.
right? Because that's a good, what, 8,000 years, 9,000 years between Atlantis to Sumeria. That time period that Robert E. Howard chose as the setting for Conan the Barbarian, I found that very fascinating.
Yeah, I found it fascinating
Yeah.
too. And there's tons of books just on the Hyborian Age. And when they first discovered pre-dynastic Egypt, which we didn't know a lot about,
Yeah.
an article was written in a scholarly publication called "Was There Really a Hyborian Age?" Because they talked about some of the things that we discovered about
Yeah.
pre-dynastic Egypt when the Hawk Kings and the Scorpion Kings actually lived.
Yeah.
And it was very reminiscent of Robert E. Howard's Sword and Sorcery.
Nice. They were referenced back to it. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say for me, the two characters that I kind of resonated with and was watching because of their stories would actually be Conan, not from the movies, but the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was so interesting how he like befriends one of his enemies and they're like travel around and like best buddies and sticking, and I was like, that is so cool that that you don't think about that back then. You think this is your enemy, I'm gonna kill him, move on and go on. But no, they ended up journeying together and like helping each other all the time and sticking their necks out for each other, even against their own tribes. And I was like, that was weird, but one that I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with though, but was the Beastmaster, the movie
Oh
and
yeah,
the
I remember
show.
that one.
And how, you had the mix of the mythology, the fantasy world, and the real world. And, you're traveling with someone who talks with the animals, and you're like, how can this be an interesting show? And you watch it, and before you know it, you're like halfway through the season and going, oh my God, I am so into this story, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I love that the Conan show, and I feel he made a better Conan than Schwarzenegger did on some during some of the episodes. He was really, really good, and he's from Schwarzenegger's town as well.
Yeah, Ralph Moeller. Yeah,
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 Ralph
he's
Yeah.
also
Mahler.
Austrian.
And
And I like the I like the movies. Beastmaster, although the second and third one were more campy than the first one, but I like the TV show too. That was great to watch.
and I will say in the TV show when they brought Mark Singer in, I was like, at first I was like, going, wait, we had the Beastmaster facing off against the Beastmaster. Wait a minute. But the way they did it was really good. Like he was the teacher. And it's like you're like, okay, yeah, he's elevated from the movie status. Okay. And real quick about the Conan though, I saw a cartoon about it,
Hmm.
and I feel like the cartoon kind of a little bit dropped the ball. It was like too kid, it's like they made it too much for kids and kind of
Mm.
left what Conan was, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Conan's supposed to be like ultra violent. It should be rated R, like to get the real feel of it. I feel like, it should be no nonsense. I feel like the perfect director for Conan would be like a Zack Snyder.
And Donnie, did you see Zack Snyder's Justice League that they released?
Oh yeah, does that the Snyder cut? Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I did see that. I saw both versions. The Snyder cut was definitely a lot better.
Hey, I remember as a little boy, I was so thrilled to death when Conan the Barbarian entered the Marvel Universe. And if I remember right, he entered the Marvel Universe, I think, through Red Sonja.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he entered the Marvel Universe. There was Star the Barbarian, I think. It was based on Conan,
Mm-hmm.
but Lynn Carter, they were working with him to try to get the rights for Thongor because they thought Thongor would make a better comic, but they ran into problems. And Glenn Lord, who was the publicist for Robert E. Howard, made it easier for them to acquire Conan. That's how they acquired Conan.
Hmm.
But Barry Windsor Smith drew Conan that drew the character Star the Slayer that appeared in Conan. It was the same drawing actually for Conan the Barbarian.
Hmm.
Yeah, Red Sonja they invented. It was based on another character by Robert E. Howard, but she was in historical times much nearer to our own. And then I forget if it was Roy Thomas or somebody else made her into a Hyborian Age character.
And I think they did a crossover with John Carter of Mars.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Hmm.
and Marvel was really good with crossovers because they would have Spider-Man meeting all these different people from Frankenstein to Dracula.
To
I
Red
mean,
Sonja.
Yeah, they brought in so many characters through crossovers.
And oh, go ahead, Donnie.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, talking about Spider-Man, the evolution of him from the live '70s show to the comics, cartoons versions, to Sony, to now Marvel. What do you all think about how that evolution has come about? Because I kind of feel like it's like a roller coaster. There's some hits and then there's some really bad choices and what are you thinking? And then it's like somehow they pull it back.
Well, they put them in the same multiverse now, Marvel. They had the other two Spider-Men that were from Sony,
Right.
and they tied it all together as different versions of Spider-Man from different related universes, I guess.
Yeah.
And they might bring them back, or one of them back, I heard, in the next Spider-Man film. I'm not sure.
I've heard they're actually going to bring, and I've heard they're actually working on a fourth Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I like Tobey Maguire.
And look at all the variant Spider-Mans. I mean, they brought them
Yeah.
all together. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse
Into
as
Yeah.
the
well.
Spider-Verse, yeah, too.
I will say though, my all-time favorite Spider-Man moment is Andrew Garfield because he's this British accent swinging through the bridge, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a swinging here," and you're like, "Man, he sounded so like a New Yorker and had that attitude." You're like, "That's Spider-Man, the true New Yorker, right there."
Hey, can I show you guys something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, remember I told you I published one comic book. It was
Mhm.
called The Legendary Dark Silhouette. Anyway, the artists on it, one of them was Brandon McKinney. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but Brandon McKinney, he worked on Star Wars comic books. He was artist for them. And he was an artist actually for my comic book. The Legendary Dark Silhouette was actually published in a Marvel magazine, and it showed him crossing over with Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And let me tell you, when I picked up the Marvel magazine and they had my character shaking hands with Spider-Man, I mean, you can hear me screaming all the way down the street. I was that excited. I said, "Yeah, my character is in the Marvel universe," and yeah, I was pretty excited about it.
That is awesome, Paul.
I would have been
Congratulations.
hyped up for that too.
Yeah, congratulations, Paul.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a long time ago, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, and it was so cool.
Oh, you muted yourself.
You lost your sound, Paul.
Oh, Paul, we lost your audio.
Oh, okay, here I am. I'm back.
All right.
Anyway, what I like about when I was in the comic book industry is the people that you meet. I mean, I became really good friends with Ron Lim, and he was an artist for various comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to meet Stan Lee. We did a special tribute issue of the People's Comic Book newsletter on Stan Lee, and we presented him with this plaque and everything else. That man was so humble. He got the plaque and he goes, "Why?" He goes, "What did I do to deserve this?" Oh my God, Stan Lee, you're the man. You've done everything, all these
Yeah.
characters associated with him. So yeah, it was fun during that time.
I want to add something that goes back to something we were talking about before, the Conan cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Yeah.
second series of the cartoon, which is Conan the Young Warriors, he talks about he once had a talking phoenix. Remember the talking phoenix from the first series?
Yeah.
And they asked him what happened to that bird, and he said he ate it. So there were things in there that weren't exactly for children snuck into the cartoon.
Yeah. So I actually have a interesting question for the three of you, and it has to go with the visuals of the characters, like the costume. And
Hmm.
what is your thought about all the suits seeming now to be nano, like nanofibers or nanotechnology putting the suits on? Are you thinking that that's, really bringing a lot of like superhero-esque-ness to the characters, or do you think it's just them trying to say, hey, we're modern age, we can make this look really cool, so we're just gonna throw this technology out there?
Well, I think they just got tired of the like where Superman would run into the broom closet to change and then fly off. I think they just got tired of that and said, okay, let's just use some nanotechnology where their costume is instantly on. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would agree. It solves the problem where they're going to change or having the costume on under their clothes all day and things like that. Now with the nanotechnology, and we have at least the idea for such technologies now, they could just, the nanotechnology becomes the costume and it doesn't need to be stored anywhere or bulk out or anything.
Yeah, but I like those old Iron Man movies where it was like evolving the way he gets the suit on him, but in the beginning he just has to like physically like climb into the suit, or in Iron Man 3 when all the pieces fly on him one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were fun. It's just I guess the last Avengers movie when they showed the nano suit, it was like, yeah, it was progressing towards that direction anyway.
And now
Yeah.
Spider-Man's going back to having a cloth suit, I think, for the next one,
Yeah,
because he doesn't have the Stark nanotechnology available.
right.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because I was thinking back to the movie, not the movie, the CW Flash
Hmm.
series, where he starts to run and then all of a sudden he stops running and he's naked because the clothes couldn't hold up against the speed friction that he created.
Yeah.
And so it's like I was laughing because I was like, I always thought it'd be so cool to move so fast like that to where you didn't need like tickets to go anywhere. You could instantly be there. But it made me stop and think and go, wait a minute though. Do I need to have clothes wherever I'm going because they're not going to make it with me? And it started me thinking about that. And so that's interesting thing that the comics do.
That's one of the things that always bothered me sometimes about like some of these comic book stories is that now that so many more people have like a general working knowledge of physics and how physics works, thanks to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you think about the Flash, like if he could actually, okay, so in a lot of the continuity, he can go like at the speed of light or even faster. If that's the case, he's instantly the most powerful superhero there is. Like nobody beats him. Like he could kill Superman in one punch. I don't think people understand how much freaking energy there is by accelerating something to the speed of light.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would, if you took a pebble and accelerated to the speed of light and hit the earth with it, that would be like worse than the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. Like that, like a half the planet would be just blown off. It would be that powerful, right?
We're gonna,
So,
we're gonna have to continue this conversation next time. We've run out of time for tonight's
uh-oh.
conversation.
Oh.
And I'd like you guys to have the opportunity to share your links because I'm definitely going to check out your shows and subscribe to them. And I really enjoyed today's conversation a lot, and I want it to continue, but I want people to be able to find you as well. So, how can
All
people
right.
find you and seek you out?
Michael, go ahead and start first.
All right, so you can find me on YouTube. It's the energy that surrounds us and riding through the unknown. You can also find me on Rumble, LinkedIn, Spotify, and I have a tree link that I've sent to Paul, and I'm sure he can send to you, or I'll send it to Paul again. That has all the links to everything for me.
I'll hook you up to Hercules.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Nice.
If you guys send me those links, I'll put them in the description on the YouTube so people can access them more directly from there.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
And Donnie Cho, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, my channel is called Donnie Cho Says Stuff. It's on YouTube. Yeah, just type in Donnie Cho and then Says Stuff. It's all right there. I'm also part of a bigger YouTube like YouTube paranormal podcast like network with other channels like Texas Front Porch, Blondes and the Booze, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. So any of those names, if you're familiar with them, you could find me hopping on there sometimes as well. Um, yeah, and sometimes you'll see me on with Paul and Danielle Diva.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you can get a hold of me. There's my business card. That's the Demon Warrior, Paul Dale Roberts. And all you have to do is just Google Bing Paul Dale Roberts, and bam, there it is.
Nice.
I want to thank you all. I want to thank Paul for starting this new conversation and for continuing it. Paul, are you inviting these gentlemen to be regulars or?
Oh, yeah, I would love to have you guys. Donnie, Michael, would you want to come back?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would love to do this again. This was fun.
Okay, great. So we'll do all this together. And thank you very much. I enjoyed myself a great deal. It's very rare to talk comic books. It seems like I'm talking the paranormal and the mythical every day, several times a day. So it's really refreshing to talk about this stuff as well. I wish you all the greatest success in all your endeavors, both the paranormal, the mythical, and everything else that you do. And I'm looking forward to next time when we have a conversation.
And when Hercules gets it all together, I'll send you guys the link to the show. And also, too, I will be registering the shows on IMDb.
Awesome. So it'll be up tomorrow by noontime, Eastern Standard Time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Hercules.
Okay,
right,
thank
thank
you.
you. Guys,
Good night, everybody.
Yes, thank you. And
All right.
thank you
Joyous
guys.
journeys and amazing adventures to all of you.